And she's from Manchester Trains Council, amongst other things that she does. Okay.
Thanks. I'm speaking today on behalf of Manchester Trades Council. So just to say first, if you're from a union branch in Manchester, you're not affiliated to us, then come and see me if you're here now, or if you're watching this online, just look us up on Facebook or Twitter and we can get that sorted out for you. What I want to do, and I've got this opportunity to talk to you today, is just give you a few points to think about, really, just random things that are on my mind at the moment about the things that we need to do to build the resistance. So, first of all, leadership. We need good leaders. In the workplace, when we have good bosses, they don't start by bullying us or disciplining us or sacking us, because to do that would just be plain stupid. If what you want is a productive workforce who are going to pull together and achieve things together, you don't want people who are demoralised and demotivated and stressed and leaving themselves before you kick them out of the door. That would be stupid. We can do much better than that in the movement. We have to be better than the bosses. We need leaders who won't bore us or bully us while demanding our subservience. We need leaders to inspire us and use all our talents and make us all the best that we can be. And we need leaders who have ideas for the present day, not stuck back in the 1980s or any other decade that's been and gone. Secondly, I think we need to give all of ourselves the opportunity to be leaders. This last 18 months has been really, really tough for all of us, and whatever we've been doing, I think for all of us, our mental health has taken a battering. So more than ever now, we need an environment in which we can all thrive. Some bosses don't care about that, do they? They do want to bully us. They do want to treat some of us differently. They do want to single out some of us because of our personal characteristics and have us all gossiping and spread stories about some of us, though we're all focused on, oh, that person's a troublemaker, instead of us all standing together and taking collective action to get the conditions and the policies that we all need. We're better than that in this movement. We have to be. We can all fall into those bosses' traps, but what we need to do now is we need to set aside anything that feels personal or that's singling anybody out, and we need to focus on comradeship. We need to come together over the issues that we agree on, and we need to fight together to achieve our common needs together. We have to recognise that at any point some of us will be being singled out. And sometimes what those people have to do is they just have to deal with that situation in order to even function, never mind lead anybody. So what we have to do when we see people in those situations is we have to support them. We have to come together, we have to look after those people, and we have to aim for all of us to be in a position where every single one of us can be the best that we can be. And thirdly, we don't all have to be leaders. Any point in time, any day of the week, there's plenty of room for all of us to not be in those positions. And I think we have to get the political position right about this. We have to start from the point of view that the contributions we all make, even if we're only able to make them in spirit, are equal. That's what our movement's about. You know, and people throw phrases around, and sometimes deliberately, sometimes carelessly. Sometimes people throw out slogans instead of concentrating on how we can change people's lives. I'm a trade unionist. I don't represent working people. I represent people who happen to be working in the same place as me at the same time. My examples here are coming from the workplace, but other people's examples will come from other places. At any point in time, any of us might be working, or we might be caring, or we might be dealing with our disabilities, or we just might be needing some time off. And all of us, all the contributions that any of us are able to make at any time are of absolutely equal value in this movement, and that's what we need to remember. this opportunity because it's the first one I've had, and because I think we can learn some things from this individual. I just want to pay tribute to the former Vice President of Manchester Trades Council, John Clegg, who died last year. And John was in lots of different unions, he was in different political parties, he was a Labour councillor at one stage in Manchester, and he told me it can happen to the best of us. And he used to say that it would be nice to see socialism in his lifetime. He said, you know, knowing his luck, he'd be in his coffin and somebody would be knocking on saying, "Yeah, John, it's started now." Well, unfortunately, that didn't happen for him. And it would have been nice. And it would have been nice for us all to see that happen for him. But it wasn't necessary for him. That wasn't why he did what he did in the movement. And I'm the next generation down from John, and I tell you, it'd be nice to see socialism. But it's not essential for me either. It is enough for me to know that some of you might see it, or your children might see it, or your grandchildren might see it. That's what we're doing in the movement. We're doing what we can in the time that we live in to one day achieve a better and a fairer world for some of us. So how do we build the resistance? We can start from ourselves. We can resolve today that no one, whatever position they're in, whatever fancy title they might have that makes them think they're important, however they try and belittle us, and whatever bullying tactics they use that even the worst employers wouldn't start to use on us, we will stick with our principles and we will hold on to our beliefs and what we rationally know to be true. And as long as we do that, this movement's not going to die in our lifetimes, and we can build on it and we can keep it going. So my message to everybody is be proud. Be proud of our movement, be proud to be part of it. And like John and that generation taught me, always, always be proud of yourselves.
Inspiring. So that was Annette Wright from Manchester Trades Council. So I'm now going to bring in Delia Mattis, and she's from Black Lives Matter.
Oh, thank you very much, everybody. Good evening. Thank you for that introduction. It's fantastic. It's fantastic to be here. I have to start by bigging up People's Assembly. What we're doing here, talking about building the grassroots and the trade unions, the People's Assembly have been doing an absolutely incredible job. We started working with them earlier on in the year. Black Lives Matter activists that have been working in partnership with the People's Assembly, and they've made us feel very, very welcome, and we feel like we've got a home in the People's Assembly. I think yesterday was fantastic. It was absolutely a fantastic show of solidarity with all different groups along with the trade unions, and that is what our movement is supposed to look like, so thank you. I'm going to be a critical friend, I'm sorry, I have to tell the truth. There's no point in having me here speaking on building the resistance, and I'm not going to say how I really feel. A good example of where trade unions and the grassroots can work together in perfect harmony is something that we did in Enfield, where I'm from in London, last weekend. A grassroots campaign about air pollution, affecting black people disproportionately, and Black Lives Matter got involved in the campaign. And we escalated the campaign, and we didn't want to just do the lobbying, speaking to MPs, doing the petitions, because they keep ignoring us. So we blocked the North Circular, and to do that we needed to work with trade unions, and the South East Region TUC, and with XR, and other climate action groups, and all kind of community groups, and we marched on those streets, and we did something that they said we couldn't do. We blocked the North Circular. I said we were going to do it, and we did, and that's how we work together in perfect harmony. So that's a local campaign. Nationally, I have to say, we have to be honest about what has been happening since last year. Last year there was a Black Lives Matter uprising. Now we know we've been affected by COVID, everybody has, and the world was silent, and it was quite Some people enjoyed it, it was quite maddening for some. And at that moment, there was a murder on camera. And the whole world saw it. And because everybody was already so frustrated, that became everybody's cause. It was Black Lives Matter. And it sparked global attention and global protest. Where were the trade unions? They weren't there. The trade unions were not there. Ordinary people who had never been on protest before got on the streets and marched week after week after week. Where were the trade unions? They were not there. And I can tell you now, there's Black Lives Matter activists in this room that don't know the power of trade unions because they haven't seen it. When we've been marching, it's the truth, I have to be honest with you. They have never seen it. Since last year to this, some new activists have been taken to the streets for anything, any cause. Kill the bill. Where were the trade unions? Hardly any. We were campaigning on against the bill since last year, April. Where were the trade unions? They weren't there. I have to tell you, the protest movement has taken on this kind of organic way of protesting. There's an issue, and there's a reason to go out and protest, and so we organise and we get out there. Our youth are not going to wait for trade union bureaucracy, I'm afraid. Those days are done. They're not going to wait for the old-fashioned traditions and these processes, because we know that we now have the power to mobilise and organise. The trade unions have got, I don't know why, it seems as if since last year they've been hamstrung. I mean, People's Assembly has been fantastic in getting people together, but the numbers from trade unions that we used to see on the street, as John said, have not been there. It's as if the protest movement has run away with the movement and the trade unions are falling behind, and that has got to